मिश्रा जी नमस्कार।
नमस्कार सर, नमस्ते, कैसे हैं?
बढ़िया बढ़िया डॉक्टर साहब।
बस अभी एक मीटिंग से छूटा था, हमने कहा थोड़ी देर
आनंदगर नमस्कार।
हाँ नमस्कार, नमस्कार डॉक्टर साहब।
और महेंद्र कुमार जी नमस्कार। और कैसे है, सब ठीक है ना?
नमस्ते नमस्ते आनंद, हाउ आर यू?
फाइन सर।
गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीबॉडी। मिश्रा जी नमस्कार। बहुत दिन के बाद।
नमस्ते।
गुड आफ्टरनून
How are you all?
साहब नमस्ते।
महेंद्र नमस्कार।
सर ये क्या है, दाढ़ी बढ़ा रहे?
Yeah, sometimes for a change.
Change. Okay, good.
Everything is fine?
Fine, sir. We'll wait for another 5 minutes, Anand ji. Because I think
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let us wait for some more people to join.
Yes. I think I'm sending a message also now. I think they will be there.
Mr. Sir, thank you for joining.
Thank you very much sir for information. Okay
मिश्रा
sir.
जी, आपका वीट कंट्रोल में देख के मैं I contacted our आनंद जी. So one seminar he has given in your, so that's why I contacted. Thank you because of your.
बहुत अच्छा रहेगा।
नमस्कार सुंदरम जी, नमस्कार।
Sir, you're muted.
Sir, you can unmute, sir.
Sir, you can unmute.
Actually, another parallel meeting was going on at ICR.
Yeah.
Just now.
Yeah,
खत्म हो गई डॉक्टर साहब।
GB meeting is there, I think. Minister.
Yeah. It just now finished, sir. So welcome, Dr. Brahmanand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me. I am grateful to you.
We had a lot of good things about your expertise in this field, sir, and we are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Mahendra sir, maybe we can wait for another 5 to 10 minutes because there could be many more people who joined ICR general body meeting. So maybe we may wait for another 10 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll wait for another.
So Mishra ji, how are things in Jabalpur?
It is fine sir. Only this March ending pressure is there.
Oh, okay. Pressure is there. Huh? Yeah, very true.
March closing.
Yeah, March closing. Yes.
That is, sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah.
From IRR, we are like say 3 days before itself, we have exhausted all our funds, and in fact, for the first time, we are seeking additional funds from ICR. Hopefully, we
very
should,
good. Yeah.
Few lakh rupees more. Hopefully.
Okay, that's a welcome news.
You're already closed, sir.
Yeah. Grantinate General, almost 15 days ago itself, we have closed, and Grantinate Capital just recently we transferred the remaining amount to CPWD. We require more. So we have got approval in principle for 2 facilities, sir. Office Godown Complex and also Golden Jubilee building, which houses central instrumentation and then grain quality lab. For the first one, it was within the budget limit, so ICR gave an approval. For the second one, Director of Work has given approval, but they are asking us to seek additional grants. And unofficially, I got to know that it may come either in this financial year itself or next. So hopefully, in another 1 or maybe 1 year, we'll be having 2 additional facilities.
You can also think of the renovation of glass house. That is also much needed actually.
That is there, sir. But what ICR is telling is every year they are hardly releasing 1.5 or 2 crores. So it will not be possible to take up all the work. So what they have asked us is to prioritize. So in between using some additional funds which we have got or will be getting from Grantinate General, we are managing to do repair of some cosmetic repair. It's not a deep repair, at least some repair so that they are functional for the each one of the glass houses. But certainly, sir, another 1 or 2 years, even that will also be done, sir.
And also, my Sundaram, take care of the health cards. We are not received it.
Sir, we got it day before yesterday, and Sudha Madam is
Okay.
actually we had kept it because we thought pensioners Adalat will be on 23rd. We thought that,
Yeah, but yeah.
but I
But
decided
now
that now postponed, so let's send it by speed post. It will be the best.
Yeah.
All the cards have been printed, sir. Those who
Okay.
are given their application, all have been printed.
Right. Because there was a lot of discussion going on in that retired pensioners group, and they were telling that the cards were not issued. So,
Sir, there were a few problems with the details submitted by a few of the people.
okay.
Problem is we cannot print at 10 today and then 10 next 10 days.
Yeah.
He requires at least batches of 50, the printer. Otherwise, he cannot print it. So now most of the people, almost 80% of the retired staff, I told that we can even wait for our own cards, regular staff, we can, through credit letter, we can manage. I decided to go ahead with retired staff. I think more than 90% of them, the cards have been printed. Sir.
That's fine.
If by chance, if you are coming around this side, should I pass it on through Mahendra, sir? He stays near your
Yeah,
home.
no problem. No problem.
I will
You can
take it,
send it by
Sundaram.
speed.
Yeah.
I will take it.
Mahendra, sir, what you do is
Yes,
take an office copy and then get a receipt from Kati, sir, also for records.
Yeah.
Definitely.
No, otherwise, you can send it by speed post. That is sufficient. No problem.
Sir,
Because generally, we are getting it within one day if you send it by speed post.
sir, one good news. Today, we are getting a new CAO.
Yeah. I got the news. Yeah. Congratulations. Good.
Thank you, sir.
Much needed also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Almost for the past 9 months
Yeah.
or 10 months, we didn't have a regular head administration.
Janga.
Hmm.
2 o'clock, Babu. Adi 3 o'clock.
Dr. Sundaram sir,
Sir, बताइए sir.
did you receive that assessment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I forgot to acknowledge it, sir. Actually, I was busy with year-end spending. We got yours immediately, sir, and it's our mistake that we couldn't confirm it to you. And we have also dispatched the DPC final sets to ICAR also. Many thanks for kindly being there for and then completing the process, sir. Kati, sir, we also completed a DPC of almost 33 scientists who are working.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's what all the pending issues, if they are addressed to immediately, then many of the things get smoothed out.
So thanks to the efforts of people like Dr. J.S. Mishra, who even though he was busy, he joined online.
Yeah.
And then
Good. Yeah. Nowadays you have that option available, so that is also good.
So our workshop will be held in 2 phases, sir. On 18th and 19th, we'll be having a pre-group meeting, wherein we'll discuss about promotions, deletions, and also the next year's technical program, along with presentation by individual centers. And on 25th afternoon, the real this thing will start with address by DG. Then DDG will also be joining, and we'll have from 25th afternoon to 27th, sir.
Good.
So you're most welcome, sir.
Well,
Join the sessions. You're a valuable member of IRR family.
yeah.
We'll certainly send a copy of invitations to you also. And we'd like you to, the first one, that is pre-group meeting, will be online only. The main workshop, we are sending invitation to a limited number of participants. So it will be conducted in hybrid mode, sir.
Yeah. I think from now onwards, you will be conducting this workshop mostly in hybrid mode only.
Yes, sir.
I don't think they will be discontinuing with that. And it's a good thing also, because participation will be larger.
I agree with you, sir. And many times what happens is some of the fringe centers, the collaborators are not able to, either because of lack of budget or some other reasons, they are not able to join. And then they are not able to discuss about their own entries or the trials which they conduct, sir. And another
undoubtedly, there is large saving in the budget. There is no question about it. And even lot of logistics and all A lot of time is saved. You can do it better. Of course, the personal interaction is it has its own impact. But given the circumstances, I think hybrid mode is very good.
Let's say about 100-150 people consisting of principal cooperators from ICRIP along with scientists from IRA and then NRRA. They'll be coming offline or in real-time mode.
Okay.
The other members can join online.
Yeah, that's fine. No, and because you can ensure inputs from many people in this. Well, I think DG also will be in a position to participate in many of the meetings.
Yeah. And another decision also with kind support from Dr. Mahendra Kumar and Dr. LV Subara, who are coordinators for this workshop. We'll be ensuring that by first week of April, all centers will send a list of their nominations, whether material, chemicals, or any molecules. And they'll also send a list of trials what they'll be conducting. And we'll also ensure that they should not cherry pick or select the trials, particularly the funded centers. We should decide what trials they should conduct. And all aspects regarding promotions and deletions, the arguments will be limited only to 18. So what we think is the main workshop should be conducted in a business-like fashion. And there will be two separate committees, or one for VAC, wherein we'll be discussing about varietal and hybrid entries. And DDG and DG have kindly agreed to, on a pilot basis, to convene another identification committee for identification of non-varietal technologies also. So Dr. Mahinder, Dr. Srinivas Prasad, they have devised a pro forma and also guidelines. We'll share it with you. You can also give your input, sir. Maybe this year, some of the technologies which we tested for last 3 years or last many years in ICRIP, we can propose it to be released. So what DG has suggested is this can be released as a new technology as part of our proceedings. And the director and then the concerned DDG can also issue a certificate that so-and-so institute developed this technology. And we can enclose annexures about the participants who develop the technology. So that
you can also make efforts to link the private companies very strongly with this program. Varietal program already they are linked very well, but even the non-varietal technologies also, I think trusted companies can be.
In fact, we are sort of giving it as a lure for private companies, telling that when they come for contractual research, if we are satisfied after validating for 1 season or 1 year, we are luring them that there's an opportunity for officially to for the technology to get released based on consistent performance for 2 or 3 years, and on that basis we can get some testing fees also, sir. Just like hybrid rice.
No, it's a win-win mode for both of them. For them also, getting a authenticity registration from a centrally based institutes, that for them also it is useful. So money invested will never go waste.
Yes,
so definitely it will
be. And they can even get subsidies also if it is officially released with the certificate. And all credit goes to Mahendra Kumar sir, Dr. Subbarao, Dr. Jhansi Rani, and also Dr. MS Prasad for coming out with a draft set of guidelines. We'll send a copy to you also. Kindly go through it and then see if any further improvement is required.
Welcome anytime.
Mahendra sir, another 2 minutes are there for 2:10. I think 50 participants have joined. Just we'll wait for another 2 minutes. Sorry, Dr. Brahmanand, we are making you wait.
Delegates there so that we can interact also. Thank you.
So this gives an opportunity to talk to some of our very lovable alumni of our institute, like Dr. Katti and others.
And nice to see all of your staff and all my colleagues in ICR and also from the Agriculture University fraternity. It's a great opportunity to take over all your blessings. Thank you.
Hey, Brahmanand, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Fine, sir.
I'm fine.
Hello, Ravi sir.
Congratulations. When are you joining?
Most welcome, Ravi sir.
Okay. Hey, when are you joining, Brahmanand?
Sir, please tell.
When are you joining?
Maybe, sir, after 1 month, because I have some pending assignment with some EMI project and all. I want to complete that. I sought a extension of joining time.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'll be getting that.
Good.
How are you, Ravi? After a long time.
Fine, yeah. Katti, how are you?
Ravi, fine, Ravichandran.
Fine.
Nice to see
you
you
lost some
after a
weight,
long
I
time.
think.
Yeah. In fact, this hybrid mode gives us an opportunity to see at least. That's a very good.
Mahendra sir, I think we can start right now.
Yes, sir. I think welcome address by you only, sir. You can start, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes. Dear friends and colleagues, today's topic is an interesting topic touching both science and religion. We always have a query: can these two subjects coexist? In today's world, which takes pride in logical reasoning, these two subjects appear distinctly and mutually exclusive. It has even become more fashionable for many of us to claim that we are atheist or agnostic and denounce religion in comparison to science. But the fact of the matter is that most of us, including myself, have no clear-cut idea of what religion is, or for that matter, how science truly works. Of course, we cannot be blamed entirely for the misconception. If some scientists or eminent or great scientists like Newton, Einstein, George Salmon, Pascal, Bhaskara, Aryabhatta, and many great mathematicians and scientists had respect for the traditional religions, some eminent thinkers like Laplace, Richard Feynman, Stephen Hawking, Richard Dawkins, etc., and a horde of other scientists have either aggressively ridiculed the idea of religion or politely shrugged off any mention of the R word or religion. So in this context, I would like to submit that Swami Vivekananda, the prophet of the present age, tried to bridge this divide. It is through his work that one can feel the underlying unity between the two, that is science and religion. During his stay in the West, he met and impressed with his views many leading scientists and inventors, including Nicholas Tesla, Hiram Maxim, Lord Kelvin, and many other great thinkers with his views on unifying science and religion. Taking forward our discussion on this hotly debated topic, we have today amongst us Dr. P.S. Brahmanand, Principal Scientist, ICAR Indian Institute of Water Management, Bhubaneswar, who is not only a great scientist in his field, but also an original thinker, and he'll be giving a discourse on the topic, Ideology of Swami Vivekananda, Motivational Force to Ensure Fruitful Result of Science and Technology and Establishing a Welfare Society. I'm sure that at the end of the talk and discussion, most of us will be having a convergent thought on science and religion and look into infinite possibilities in terms of application of science and technology for mankind in a harmonious way. Sir, on behalf of ICAR IIRR and also on behalf of Society for Advancement of Rice Research, I extend a warm welcome to our speaker, Dr. P.S. Brahmanand, and also to the members of this virtual audience who have joined this forum to attend the interesting discourse. Sir, you are most welcome, sir. And I now request Dr. Padma Kumari and Dr. Mahendra Kumar to go ahead with the further part of the business. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Very good afternoon to everyone. I respected our director, Dr. R.M. Sundaram, and very well-known participants like Dr. J.S. Mishra, Ravichandran, Dr. Katti, and many more colleagues of IIRR and also Society for Advancement of Rice Research and ECRIP cooperators. I welcome you all for this virtual meet, and I'm very privileged to speak a few words about today's our great speaker, Dr. Brahmanand, and I'm very happy. And this has been initiated because I heard his speech during other group meeting. Then I got very much impressed, and myself, Prasad Babu, decided that Brahmananda also should talk to our rice researchers. That's why this meeting has been organized, and I thank our Sundaram for really immediately agreeing for this talk. I will be briefly giving his Brahmanand's brief biodata. Dr. Pothula Srinivas Brahmanand is two-time Guinness World Record holder and agriculture scientist. This itself a great accomplishment of Dr. Brahmanand. Brahmanand received 2 international awards, Guinness World Record holder in longest speech marathon in 2012. His 33-hour and 46-minute speech on science and technology, society and human development includes topic of agriculture science and drawn the world attention. He also delivered longest extempore speech of 38 hours and 21 minutes on ideology and spiritual concept of Swami Vivekananda and its relevance to the present day society in completely standing posture on the occasion of birth anniversary of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa during 18 to 20 February 2014. Dr. Brahmanand has published 87 research papers in reputed peer-reviewed journals, including Nature Communications. He contributed immensely to Yield Gap Atlas of Cereals for India, post-flood management and index-based flood incidents for Bihar and Odisha, estimation of impact of ICAR flexi rubber check dams on agriculture, technological options for management of waterlogged areas. He was bestowed with 5 national awards, Indira Gandhi Rajbhasha Puraskar of Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India twice for original book writing by an Indian author in Hindi language for the year 2005 and 6 from former Union Minister Sri Shivraj Patil during 2007 and 2010 and 11. Honorable former President of India Sri Pranab Mukherjee during 2012 for authoring 2 original books in Hindi, ICAR Award for Outstanding Interdisciplinary Team Research in Agriculture and Allied Sciences for the biennial 2013-14 and 2001 and 2002, and Vasantrao Naik Award of ICAR 2007 and Certification of Excellence from Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and Certificate of Appreciation from National Water Mission, Government of India. He is Fellow of Indian Water Resources Society, IIT Roorkee and Andhra Pradesh Academy of Sciences. He received 8 professional society awards, including Leadership Award of Soil Conservation Society of India from Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Sri Banwarlal Purohit during 2019, and Swachhata Visionary Leadership Award from Honorable Governor of Odisha, Professor Ganeshi Lal during 2020. He was honored with Utkal Divas Samman during 2017 from former Union Minister of Petroleum, Sri Dharmendra Pradhan, and former Union Minister of Agriculture, Sri Radha Mohan Singh. It's a very extraordinary biodata. Sir, we are very thankful for readily accepting to deliver the talk. And now the floor is open for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. First of all, I express my sincere gratitude to the director and esteemed staff of Indian Institute of Rice Research, and also for the Society for the Advancement of Rice Research, Hyderabad, for giving me this an opportunity. Thank you very much, Dr. Sundaram sir and Dr. Mahendra Kumar sir, for giving me this opportunity. Most respected delegates who are presently on this occasion, including Dr. J.S. Mishra sir and several other senior colleagues of ICAR and National Agricultural Research System. Hearty welcome to you. And I'm also thankful to all of you. Actually, let me share the presentation first and then I will start. I hope it is visible now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Friends, actually, I'm extremely grateful to you, all of you, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on one of the most important topic. That is actually, we are all advancing in science and technology since time immemorial. If you ask me the most important invention that has been made by the human race, I still consider the invention of fire. During that primitive man stage, when the fire was invented, that itself was the starting point, rather a big breakthrough. And after that, up to nanotechnology, biotechnology, even remote sensing, space technology, we have achieved tremendous heights, no doubt about it. And everybody is fully assured about the advantages what the science and technology has provided, especially during difficult times, especially during the famines, when the people were suffering from different diseases. The way in which the invention of medicines, including the penicillin by the Alexander Fleming, everybody knows, and we are getting a lot of benefits from science and technology. But the only problem is the science and technology alone cannot ensure the uniform human development or sustainable human development. So for making a sustainable human development, where the society is a bigger domain, where different sections of people are present, so to have the better results of the science and technology reaching the, the poorest of the poor of this universe, we require something else. And what is that something else? That is nothing but we have a commitment and sensitivity towards the welfare of others. And that's why the establishing the welfare society is very important. And further, the science and technology has the technical substance, but to make it to reach to them, some connecting force is required. Maybe that connecting force will come from ethics, moral standards, and the source of it is from irrespective of the religion, it is the spirituality which can connect it. There are different great people who have come to this universe and who have made us proud by seeing their life examples. And after that, we get motivated. What is motivation? Motivation is nothing but, some force that suddenly comes to us and it makes us like, a hormone, the way in which it accelerates the thing, the enzyme, the way in which it catalyzes the reaction, the motivation will come. And to get the motivation, it's not just words, it is the deeds. It is the actions. It is the sacrifice. It is the work plan of different great people who have, shown us an examples. Maybe it's Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. Maybe the Mother Teresa. We know that, the service, highest pinnacle she has displayed. And similarly, Dr. Abdul Kalam, we know that till the last moment, he did not leave the effort. He was delivering, speech to the students when he was having his last breath. So we have such type of examples. And then we have Sri Ramakrishna, who have come up with a very simple lifestyle without any materialistic life, but had a very high substance. And he produced a disciple called Swami Vivekananda, who is the great souls the total universe has ever produced, who has propounded the theory of universality. The motherland, India, celebrates the occasion of birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda as the National Youth Day rightly on the 12th January. Friends, it's my great fortune to express my feelings on the ideology of Swami Vivekananda, which can act as a motivational force for ensuring the fruitful result of science and technology, and with the final objective of establishing the welfare society. So on this occasion, in the speech, I will be talking on the life history of Swami Vivekananda in brief, and understanding the main essence of human life. Then maybe on motivation, what is the principle that's behind it, and examples of biological system also we can see, and what are the characteristics of welfare society. Then Swamiji's philosophy on faith, optimism, and education, and his spiritual concept and Advaita Vedanta and human service. And finally, the Swamiji's ideology, how the source of it acts as a source of motivation for the better outcome of science and technology and establishment of welfare society. Before going into that, if you ask me whether science and technology is important or spirituality is important, let me put it in this way: both are important, both are great in their own way, but the one gives the substance, the other gives the direction. If you ask me what is the science and technology, it is just like in a biological system. You can compare it with a circulatory system, where the heart is the main organ which acts as a mechanical pump to, pump the blood to the different organs through the arteries and veins. Whereas the spirituality can be compared with the respiratory system, where lungs are the main organs, and here the purification of the blood by supplying oxygen and by eliminating the carbon dioxide is the main principle. So the purification is more important than the mechanical quantity of a blood. So the coordination between the circulatory system and the respiratory system makes us to survive. And similarly, the spirituality in the form of respiratory system, it provides that oxygen, it provides the pureness, and because of which the blood, which is the quantity of blood which is generated, like in circulatory system, the science and technology is providing that. That's what we are calling as the advances. But that advancement doesn't mean that it's enough. it has to be pumped with oxygen from the spirituality. As I mentioned, even Swami Vivekananda several times uttered, it is the universality of all religions. Every religion speaks about very good social duties, and every religion wants the benefit to the humankind. The spirituality means it's a very broader terminology, and it actually makes us to motivate to the righteousness. And to do the righteousness, we should be equipped with, that type of motivation, and that can be provided from the spirituality. And here you can see the one small example where a small story has been told by Sri Ramakrishna himself. Friends, we have more than around 600 parables explained by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, which help us in identifying, in integrating that single principle within us. His way of explaining things to the common man is great, because for explaining one single thing, he will just give very small type of story called as parable. And here you see, here the Pandit who was traveling actually in a boat, he used to ask different people, whether you know the Sankhya, whether you know the Patanjali. So people used to say that, no, they were telling that, no, we are not knowing, we are not knowing. Then he said, what do you know then? But after some time, when there was a disturbance in the water current, the boat was about to fall down. The person to whom he has asked, he himself asked him that, Swamiji, whether you know, Panditji, whether you know how to swim? He told, no. Why? By the time, everything, the damages happened. The meaning of it is, what will a man gain by knowing many scriptures? The one thing needful is to know how to cross the river of the world. God alone is real, and all else is illusory. So telling this one is that actually the very philosophy is science and technology alone cannot do the things. To have a better utility of science and technology, we require something like this. In this story, you can very much get the essence of it. The same thing has been mentioned in case of Gita. When there was a confusion in the mind of Arjuna, he has clearly told, Nakangshe Vijayam Krishna, Nacharajyam Sukanicha, Kimno Rajena Govinda, Kimno Bogair Jivitenava. He mentioned that, what is the use of fighting with my own kin, own brothers? What is the advantage of getting such type of kingdom? Then Krishna has very clearly given the direction to Arjuna in the form of, actually he clearly mentioned that you are talking like a learned man, but at the same time, you are not able to identify the original truth. You should not lament for whether living or deadly, because the soul is permanent. The soul is permanent, and that is the reality. If you understand that, then you do the karma, the very essence of Gita, that is doing service to the others without expecting anything of the result. Because your right is to do your righteous duty only. The results of that particular work, you are no way having any ownership of it. This is the essence of Gita. It is the soul which is permanent. Nainam chindanti sastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayantapo, na soshayati marutaha. It is the soul which cannot be burned out with a fire, which cannot be broken down by pieces by any weapons. It cannot be withered away by any dryness or wind, or it cannot be completely immersed by water also. So it is the permanent feature. So you should have a nature of a balancing nature, which Swami Vivekananda said that we are having a property called Rajas. Rajas means activity, which Swamiji says that activity is life. If first I have activity, then let us see about the direction. Then we have Tamas. Tamas is the inertness. Just like in physics, we have a law of inertia, law of motion. So it is an inertness which makes us, towards inactiveness. Whereas the balancing force, the equilibrium force is sattva. And that sattva, it makes the balance of this. So what he says, it varies from person to person. The gradation, the extent will vary. But within the same person also, over a time period, when you are growing from a childhood to adultness, during the transformation from one stage to another, at different points of your life, you will have different quantities of it. It is your common sense, your spirituality, your ethics and moral standards will make them correct, and that sattva will work properly. And the stories of Ramakrishna, as mentioned here, they give a lot of essence. Even Swami Vivekananda explains the interpretation of some of the things will make it different. I will give you one example. There used to be one thief was there, and that thief, his aim was to have a big treasure. He wants to take it from the kingdom. Then he enters the inner portion, actually the exact inner portion where the king and queen were there. And before going to take that particular treasure away, he overheard them. The king and queen that we are going to arrange a swayamvara for our daughter. And during that course, the queen told that during that particular time, whoever is, the person, whoever is having a spirituality type of mindset, a sannyasi type of mindset, he will be a righteous person. So our daughter can choose that particular person. So after listening to that, this person, instead of taking that treasure out, he had decided that why not I be the same person. So because I know the secret, so he went to that outskirts of that city where the king and queen were talking. So he acted like a meditative. He simply sat there, and it was a boring exercise for him in the beginning because it is not easy to meditate. But while meditating, he thought to thinking about God, because his aim was to impress the princess. So by impressing the princess, he can get that total kingdom. That was his aim. So during that process, somehow with the difficulty, he tried to meditate, and the number of days have gone. After 6 days, the king and queen went, and the princess really selected him. But by the time the princess selected him, he has completely changed his mindset, because which he had never thought. After meditating the God, he completely changed. So this is the clear-cut example where what I am thinking today may not be the same tomorrow. If it is a righteousness, even let it take much time, but let us get transformed. Sometimes people ask, by having a good discourse, can we change? Yes, we can change. Not necessary that all of us will change. Not necessary that to what extent we are supposed to change will occur in each human being, but to some extent it will change. It is one of the agent. In a chemical reaction, the reactants both are important. If one of the reactant is not there, the reaction cannot complete. Similarly, a good discourse or sadvichar is very important. And for that, the Swami Vivekananda is an exceptional personality who has taken birth on the 12th January, which we are celebrating as a National Youth Day. And he is a personality who has shown us what is purity, what is braveness of thought, and what is Advaita Vedanta, and how can we serve the other human beings in a better manner, and what a disciple can do to a guru in a realistic manner, in a righteous manner. He is a greatest example. So by having some of his life events, we can very much get the essence which the science and technology, the persons who are working in science and technology, not only scientists, who are the other stakeholders, they should always think that the results should finally reach the society. In ICAR case, it is to the farmers mainly, and similarly in other scientific organizations, it is to the different stakeholders. So if you see the birth, it is 12th January 1863, Swamiji was born to parents Vishwanath Datta and Bhuvaneshwari Devi. Actually, his father, when he was very young, his grandfather Durgacharan Datta, he has gone for completely into exile. Means he took the sannyasa and all that. His father, he used to have a lot of discourses on all religions, including Bible. Even some of the poetry from Hafiz, which is a Persian poetry, a lot of influence of the Hindu religious philosophy and all this. This integration was there. Under that ambience, the Narendranagar Datta, Naren, who is the Vivekananda, he had his early life, early childhood. And after that, the very transformation, very breakthrough which has happened is during his college education. And during that time, there was a poem called as Excursion. And it was a poem from Wordsworth. And under that poem, there is a term called ecstasy. To make the people to understand about the meaning of ecstasy, the professor told that there is a man who lives in Dakshineshwar. If you see him, you will understand the, having a different type of, completely, he will be in a mentally different condition, trance. And if you can go and see him, you will understand the meaning of ecstasy. So with the help of cousin, Vivekananda has gone to meet the master. And that first meeting with the master, Sri Ramakrishna, had happened in 1881. And before that, Swamiji was having lot of restlessness in getting the answer that whether there is an existence of God or not. Many people he inquired. He even joined Brahma Samaj of India, but he could not get a satisfactory answer. So in the very first meeting with the Sri Ramakrishna, Swamiji asked him, "Have you seen God?" Ramakrishna replied him, "Yes, I have seen as I am seeing you, but with more intensity." So this has given an affirmative, very confirmed answer about the existence of God. And then the journey started. Exactly the spiritual journey started, and the master tried to test the strength of the disciple, and disciple also started testing the strength of the master. And in a particular unfortunate event when his father expired, then in 1884, Ramakrishna said to him, you pray Goddess Kali regarding, getting some wealth for you, means to make you out of the problems. But he initially thought, Swamiji thought like that, but while asking, while praying, instead of wealth, he asked rather knowledge and devotion. And it is the way in which the journey started. And finally in 1886, when Ramakrishna, he left for the abode, then he left for the heaven, and during that particular, before he left, he tried to give whatever knowledge, whatever the essence of Advaita Vedanta, everything to Swami Vivekananda, and Vivekananda took the responsibility of guiding all other disciples along with him. And it is in 1888 onwards, Swamiji, he started actually wandering to the temporary excursions. But it is in the 1890, in the month of July, he went for a long-term excursion throughout the country with the aim of actually seeing the plight of the masses, understanding what the mother country wants, and also kept in the mind of what Ramakrishna wished from him. Everything he kept in mind, and he started moving. And he went to different places, starting from Varanasi. He went to Vrindavan, he went to Agra, then he went to Tamil Nadu, initially went to Karnataka, then from there to Kanyakumari, and from there he has gone to Tamil Nadu, Chennai, and then to Hyderabad. And in the Hyderabad, when he was there was a call, there was an invitation from Maharaja of Khetri, and with that invitation, he has gone there. And by that time, he has already decided. Before that, he had a meditation in Kanyakumari. Every one of us know that that is a very famous transformation happened in the life of Swamiji, and during which he actually sat on the rock on the seashore, and then he had meditated in such a way that what was the past of India, what is the present condition of Indian people, and what should be the future of India. Then during that particular meditation, he decided that I should go to Western countries like USA and Europe, and I should convince them that India, the motherland, which is having a source of providing a leadership, spiritual leadership to the total world, their people, its people are not in good condition. And so it is your duty, it is not the help, it is your duty to see that these people should be, taken care, means the solution should be provided. And with that mindset, he decided to attend the World Parliament of Religions, which happened in Chicago. And before that, his journey towards Maharaja of Khetri, when it happened, and during his son's birth function, then the Maharaja of Khetri has decorated him the title of Vivekananda. So Swami Vivekananda, the title actually has happened during that particular time in the 1893. In 1893, on 31st May, Swamiji left India, and from there he has gone to USA. He landed in July, but unfortunately, the World Parliament of Religions got postponed. And because of that postponement, it has made him to think about, because he was not having the enough financial resources, he has gone to Boston. He settled there for 2 months. And unfortunately, there was another problem, that is the organizers of the World Parliament of Religions. They have mentioned that the persons will be allowed, the delegates will be allowed who have the credentials. Credentials means like, degree qualifications, academic qualifications. So he got disappointed. But the lady who helped him in the Boston, he took him to a professor, he introduced him to a professor in the Harvard University. And that professor, he has interacted with Swamiji, and he got astonished with his knowledge. And then he mentioned that you go and attend the World Parliament of Religion. When Swamiji explained about this qualification, he told him, nothing to worry, because I have seen you, I know what you are. Asking you, Swamiji, about the qualification is nothing but asking the sun to show its right to shine. So he has given a letter to the Parliament organizing committee members. In the letter, he has mentioned the professor of Harvard University. He clearly mentioned it. Here is a man who is more learned than all our learned professors together. So this is the credibility which Swami Vivekananda got before the starting of Chicago speech itself. And how this has come? This is because of purity of thought, because of his perfection, and because of his devotion to the human service. And after that, of course, every one of us know that Chicago speeches in 1893, it started on 11th September. Every one of us are equally aware about 11th September 1893 is a very famous day. But after that also, there were another 5 speeches that happened during the World Parliament of Religion, including 26th September 1893, when Swamiji talked about universality of religions. Swamiji clearly mentioned in the initial speech, every one of us know, he addressed 7,000 people in Chicago Arts Museum, where he initially started with the Sisters and Brothers of America, and almost for a period of 2 minutes, the total enthrallment of the audience was there. And the way in which his pureness of voice, his sincerity, and his devotion to Goddess Saraswati was reflected. The New York Times and other newspapers, they have written, he is the greatest among all the delegates of the World Parliament of Religion, a cyclonic monk from India. So this is the devotion's reward. That's why what I was talking, his life history can tell us it is not only just like science and technology in terms of efficiency, it is more of attitude. And that attitude combination with efficiency is required for the sustainable human development. And that's why I'm trying to just memorizing the events of Swamiji, keeping in mind about the essence of the attitude more important than the efficiency. Then after that, he had tried to establish the Vedantic societies in different places. He succeeded in it. He went to European countries, and then finally he came back to India at the fag end of 1896. And on 15th January 1897, he landed in Colombo. Then he went to Chennai. He inspired the several disciples in Chennai. By the time Swamiji became popular, he inspired what we are talking about, motivation. That motivation was immense among the youth in the Tamil Nadu, even several other disciples who came over and assembled there. And from there, he came back to Kolkata. Then he motivated the other disciples, then established the Ramakrishna Mission. So in 1897, the establishment of Ramakrishna Mission happened, and with the twin objectives. One is Advaita Vedanta, the spreading the message of Advaita Vedanta, which Swami, even Sadguru, Jagat Guru, you can say Adi Shankaracharya, who has played a major role by going to each corner of the country, including Kashmir, the way in which the oneness of God was explained through Advaita Vedanta, the same philosophy with a higher strength, and to different corners of the world, the Swami Vivekananda succeeded, and especially by establishment of Ramakrishna Mission. The second objective of Ramakrishna Mission was serving the human beings by welfare activities, especially when there are difficult times like famines. And you can experience this one in 1898 when plague has come in Kolkata. The way in which the Ramakrishna mission served has motivated several other people in the society to, plunge, to go into that particular mission, and they started irrespective of your professions. That's what I am talking. Science and technology, whoever stakeholders, including scientists, but you have that sincerity, you have that sensitivity among, your own feeling within you. If you integrated that, then that will do the maximum benefit to the society. Then after that, he had motivated several other disciples in different parts of the country. Then again, he went back to Western world, especially again to US and Europe. And this time he tried to make the unification between the strengths of East and strengths of the West. Especially Swamiji believed that it is India which has the power to provide the spiritual leadership to throughout the world, because it is an ancient civilization. Whereas the external world, they have made advances in the materialistic world, which the science and technology is provided by that time. So the unity between these two can give a better solution. Then after that, again in 1900, in the mid of 1900, he came back to India. Then he fulfilled the wishes of his mother, and especially by traveling to Bangladesh, Dhaka, and he delivered lectures there, even in Assam also. And then he made the remaining motivational lectures to the different disciples. And in the last portion, actually, especially on the 4th July 1902, when Swamiji left his physical body, that particular day in the morning, he made the meditation for 3 hours, which was unusual. And then he made a visit. He made you can say like a walking along with Swami Premananda for 1 hour. He discussed about the establishment of Vedantic society. You see, even on the last day also, he was expressing how to move forward. And in the evening, he meditated for 1 hour, and finally he left his physical body. So this is the way in which Swamiji's life journey has gone. And there were several other events, but with the paucity of time, I tried to just give a brief about the Swamiji's overall journey. And in the main essence is, in case of science and technology, it only talks about efficiency, but attitude portion, if you see the Swami Vivekananda, after making such a great successful achievements, he did not forget about the contribution of his Guruji, especially Sri Ramakrishna. So what he mentioned, if there has been anything achieved by me, by thoughts or deeds or words or deeds, if from my lips has ever fallen one word that helped anyone in the world, I lay no claim to it, it was his. If this nation wants to rise, take my word for it, it will have to rally around his name. So this is the way in which he expressed his gratitude, and his main essence of total life was spreading the message of Advaita Vedanta and serving the God to the service to the human beings. And another aspect which we need to see here is that it is not that always we have some feeling like after knowing some knowledge, after gaining some knowledge, sometimes we get satisfied and we think that, we know everything. No, that is also wrong. So for that, Swamiji has given a very clear-cut example. He says that if you are having idea about the performing social duties, whatever the role you are taking, you be perfect in it. He has given us an idea about all different yogas like Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga. When he traveled to USA and Europe, that time he has contributed the manuscript for Raja Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So he is the master in it with such a high eloquence in his English, but to common people, he has explained in the most meaningful manner, most digestible manner. So that type of common sense we should have now to make the results of the science and technology to move forward. So here is one particular story where actually the Narada, in this story, it is also again explained from the parables of Sri Ramakrishna. they're so beautiful. By listening to this story, you will understand one point. That's all. Instead of telling that point, he gives a story, a short story. So in this story, he has clearly mentioned about the Narada, when once upon a time a conceit entered in his mind, and he thought that there was no devotee to Hari than him. Means he is the main devotee. But what has happened? The God, means the Hari, has told him once that Narada, you go to that particular place and you see one person is there. He is the greatest disciple of mine. So after this, Narada got confused. How can he be better than me? So he has gone there and he has seen. And that particular person is a farmer. And before starting his agricultural operations, in the morning, after getting up, he used to recite the word Hari once. And after all his operations, Karma Yoga, then at the end of the day, means in the night, he again says Hari. So he comes back to Hari, God, and he says, Lord, how you are telling that he is greater than me? He is just, he's indulged in his regular activities. He recites only twice about your name. How can you consider him as the greatest disciple? Then to make Narada to understand better what Lord has done, Lord has given him a small work, that he has given him some portion of oil, and he told that without spilling, you go around the city and come back. So Narada has gone. His aim was to ensure that he will not drop a single drop of that oil. So he came successfully, and with pride he told to Lord, Lord, I have done my duty. I have not failed. Then Lord has told, but how many times have you uttered my name? He told. Then he realized his mistake. He did not utter because he was completely devoted to it. So then Lord said, you see, even for this small Karma Yoga action, you have forgotten me. But whereas for him, that occupation is his life, for his, earning his livelihood. But in spite of that, he is reciting me. So that is the interpretation which Ramakrishna has told and Vivekananda has further simplified. So this example, why I have given, the science and technology, whatever we are thinking that this is final. No, it is not final. Finally, your aim is to give a welfare society, which the directive principles of state policy in the Indian Constitution, it has been very clearly enshrined that it is the fulfillment of achievement of social and economic objectives of all sections of the people, especially the poor and marginal sections of the people. If you can ensure that, then only you can say that it is a welfare society. And similarly, Swami Vivekananda also defined either advanced society or welfare society in a manner that if a person who does what he says, who has a less gap between his words and deeds, such type of people, and who have sensitivity to others, who have the purification in the mind that he will help others, such type of people, such type of individuals, if they are more in number, such society can be called as a welfare society or an advanced society. So such type of society cannot be ensured only by science and technology. Science and technology does excellent work in pumping the blood like circulatory system, but to see that whether it will go to all the sections of the society, to make its results to be ensured, you need spirituality. So these are the examples which I have put forward here. And one more very inspirational story which Swami Vivekananda said, it clearly says that your interpretation has to be more perfect than what we are having today. Why I'm telling this? In one of the contexts, he has explained the story where Swamiji says that it is the householder, means who is doing a karma yoga of maintaining family, looking after wife, looking after parents, looking after children, whether that is great, or a sannyasi who has completely relinquished all these family duties, but who will devote his time for meditation and who will not be involved in the regular activities. So for explaining that, Swamiji says that both are great in their own way. Please remember, the science and technology and spirituality, both are great in their own way. I'm just connecting here. And the story which Swami Vivekananda said, it should be in our minds when we take any type of action, either in science and technology or in any other act which we perform during our journey in the society. The story says like this. There was a king in a kingdom, that king was asking a very important pertinent question, the same question which I have mentioned now. He called all the people, both sannyasis and also householder, some famous people, all of them were called, and he made an assembly. He asked that, who is great? You tell me, and with proof you have to tell. So he asked that whether sannyasi is great or whether he is a householder, he is great. So finally, some people told sannyasi great. Then he told what is the proof? They could not prove. Similarly, the same case with other people who mentioned that householder is great. For them also, he has asked the proof, they failed. So then finally, there was one sannyasi, young sannyasi, who came late. He told king that a different answer. He told king, Raja, दोनों अपना अपना जगह में दोनों great है. So king was astonished. How can you say? Can you prove it? आप प्रूव कर देगा क्या? तो सन्यासी ने उसको बोला, हाँ मैं आपको जरूर प्रूव करूंगा, लेकिन एक कंडीशन है, आप मेरा साथ आना पड़ेगा. तो किंग एग्रीड फॉर इट. देन किंग और सन्यासी दोनों दे स्टार्टेड देयर जर्नी. तो ये सन्यासी ने क्या किया, ये किंग को, राजा को अपने साथ लेके पूरा ये अपना किंगडम छोड़ के दूसरा किंगडम में लेकर चला गया. इससे भी बड़ा किंगडम था, वहां लेकर चला गया. सो व्हेन दे रीच्ड देयर, दे फाउंड there was a big noise, there was a big sound, means there was some function going on, open function going on, somebody was announcing, and then they could understand that the Swayamvar was going on. Means the princess, for the princess of that great kingdom, the Raja, उन्होंने Swayamvar arrange किया. तो उसमें different princes from different corners, different princes have come, and they were all competing. So it was almost like it is a competition. Finally the princess would select, whoever she feels that he is the right person. तो उस तरह का जो सिचुएशन में ये लोग वहां एंटर किया. तो बाय दैट टाइम क्या था कि वो प्रिंसेस जो है उसको कोई भी वहां जितना भी वो लोग सोच रहा था, मैं हैंडसम है, मैंने इतना किंगडम को जीत कर दिया, ये न्यूज़ इनको राजा को पता है तो मुझे सेलेक्ट करेगा, किसी को वो बिल्कुल कोई भी पसंद नहीं आया वो रानी को, मतलब प्रिंसेस को. So she was disappointed. Even Raja was also disappointed. But finally, when this king and sannyasi, जो यहाँ से दूसरा किंगडम से जो गया है, वो जब गया, सडनली उसको देख के वो प्रिंसेस को लगा कि सूरज वहां आ गया, ऑलमोस्ट सूरज आके उनको देख रहा है. मतलब she was so impressed, and she went and put the garland on him. तो ये देख के सब लोग ये हो गया, आश्चर्य हो गया. बट जो सन्यासी को जिसको उन्होंने सेलेक्ट किया, उन्होंने उसको वो गार्लैंड को थ्रो कर दिया. उन्होंने बोला, क्या आप क्या कर रहे हो, मैं तो सन्यासी, मेरा धर्म आपको पता नहीं है, मुझे तो आप चूज नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो राजा ने सोचा ये मैंने कुछ राज्य के बारे में नहीं बताया इसलिए वो छोड़ रहा है. तो उन्होंने बोला, मेरा बेटी को जो ये प्रिंसेस को जो शादी करेगा उसको टोटल राज्य को दे दूंगा. फिर भी उन्होंने बोला मेरा धर्म नहीं है, उन्होंने उसको छोड़ दिया. जब उन्होंने छोड़ दिया तो प्रिंसेस को उस पर्टिकुलर सन्यासी के ऊपर और भी उसका लव बढ़ गया, एंड शी वाज वेरी मच रिजिड दैट आई शुड मैरी हिम ओनली. सो फाइनली क्या किया, ये राजा और सन्यासी जो चले गए उसके साथ शी ऑल्सो ट्रैवल. तो उस तरह का वो चल गए तो चलते एक फॉरेस्ट में आ गया. उस फॉरेस्ट में एक पेड़ के नीचे वो लोग रेस्ट लेने के लिए वहां ठहरे थे. तो उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम में उसी पेड़ के ऊपर जो सम बर्ड्स वर देयर, एंड स्पेशली वन बर्ड फैमिली जिसको स्वामी जी ने एक्सप्लेन करता है, उसका वाइफ एंड हस्बैंड बर्ड्स जो है और उसके साथ 3 उसका चिल्ड्रन बर्ड्स. तो ये फैमिली है, 5 मेंबर का फैमिली है. ये लोग उस समय बहुत सीवियर विंटर चल रहा था, तो अपना आपको ये करने के लिए, प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए थोड़ा फायरवुड को थोड़ा जला के वो थोड़ा टेम्परेचर का रेगुलेशन करते थे और थोड़ा अपना फूड जो लेकर आया उसी को खा के अपना जीवन चलाते थे. तो उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम में व्हेन दीस पीपल एंटर्ड, तो वो क्या किया, वो देखा, उनको देखने के बाद उनको लगा दीस पीपल आर शिवरिंग इन द सीवियर विंटर. सो उन्होंने क्या सोचा, उन्होंने जो हाउस होल्ड, मतलब जो उसका जो हेड ऑफ द फैमिली जो बर्ड है, उन्होंने बोला कि नहीं, ये मेरा धर्म है एज अ हाउस होल्डर, यहाँ जो आया है ये हमारा गेस्ट है, तो उनको अभी टेम्परेचर को बढ़ाने के लिए वो क्या है किया, अपने पास जो फायरवुड है उसको ऊपर से थोड़ा थोड़ा उसको फायर ये करके उसको नीचे थ्रो किया, सो दैट ये तीनों जो है राजा, सन्यासी और जो वो जो प्रिंसेस जो है, ये तीनों उसका हेल्प लिया। और थोड़ा समय के बाद उन लोगों का डिस्कशन से पता चला वो लोग का भूख, मतलब दे वर हंग्री। सो कीपिंग दैट इन माइंड, जो अगेन जो हेड जो डिसीजन लिया अपना आप को चेक करके, बिकॉज उनके पास और कुछ नहीं है, वो खुद वो फायर में जाके चला गया, सो दैट उसको लेके ये लोग अपना खाना बना सकते हैं। तो उसके बाद जो उनका जो फीमेल बर्ड जो है वो भी सोचा मेरा हस्बैंड ने जो धर्म किया मैं भी करना है, क्योंकि इन लोगों के लिए 3 लोग है, सफिशिएंट नहीं है, वो भी अपना सैक्रिफाइस कर दिया। उसके बाद उनका जो बच्चों जो है, जो तीनों जो यंगर बर्ड्स जो है वो भी सैक्रिफाइस कर दिया। इतना होने के बाद ये लोग एस्टोनिश हो गया, तीनों एस्टोनिश होके वो बिल्कुल उसको खाया नहीं, टच नहीं किया, उसके साथ वहां से वो चले गए। वो एक्चुअली वो प्रिंसेस को अपना किंगडम के साइड उसको रास्ता दिखा के ये दोनों अपना किंगडम आ गया, राजा और सन्यासी। अभी सन्यासी ने राजा को बोला आपको मैंने वादा किया ना, आपको मैं प्रूफ के साथ ये कह दूंगा कि बोथ सन्यासी एंड हाउस होल्ड both are great in their own way. Why they are great? Because you see, if you are doing your duty perfectly, both are great. Suppose take the example of that sannyasi जिसको उन्होंने जैसा उन्होंने select किया the most beautiful lady considered on the universe that time, she has selected. In spite of that, he relinquished it. And a sannyasi should be like that. He will not go into the worldly things. He will be completely immersed in his devotion. And how a household should be? A householder should be like those birds. वो birds जो है वो अपना guest के लिए, धर्म निभाने के लिए वो अपना को sacrifice ही कर दिया। अगर आप householder है, अगर इस तरह का अपने social duty करते हो तो they are the greatest. तो अगर household होना है तो पक्षी जैसा, वो bird जैसा होना है। अगर आप सन्यासी होना है तो उस सन्यासी जैसा होना है, मैंने आपको दिखाया। तो ये आपको हम लोग के लिए, एटलीस्ट फॉर मी पर्सनली, आई रियलाइज्ड lot of essence of it. I thought that whatever I know is nothing actually, and similarly in case of science and technology, whatever we are developing, it is good for the society, including medicine, space, nanotechnology. It's okay, but we should see that the result should go to all the human beings, all the sections. For that, we require some of the good philosophies of great people, including Swami Vivekananda. So it is not that only Swami Vivekananda; it is several great people who have come forward, who stood as an examples, and you can take some clue from their life histories, and we can get motivated. And you can ask, what is that motivation? So motivation is nothing but internally there will be a regulation. There will be some particular mechanism which is very difficult to explain. You cannot segregate it to any single activity. In biological system, it is the enzyme which catalyzes the reaction. If you see the example of carbonic anhydrase enzyme, which catalyzes the reversible reaction. The carbon dioxide and water, when they combine, they transform into the bicarbonate ions and H+ ions. And it is also reversible. This reaction will be catalyzed in presence of, without the presence of enzyme carbonic anhydrase, the reaction speed is just formation of only 200 molecules in a minute, whereas if it is by the carbonic anhydrase enzyme, it increases to 10 million times. 10 million times, can you imagine? So such is the power of motivation. Why I am giving the example of, again from science, it is to make us better understanding the motivator can motivate you to any extent. It only depends upon the credibility of the person, the deeds which he is doing based on his words. If a person doesn't have much difference between the deeds and words, those people we are calling as Mahan. Those people are great people, and Swamiji is one among them. Let us try to find some of the philosophies of Swami Vivekananda. Here you can very clearly see that the Swamiji's philosophy of spiritual concept, the having faith and optimism, which is nothing but a positiveness, and manifesting strength. We all have the strength. Only thing, as I mentioned, it is in the form of, suppose, tamas, we have to make it rajas. We have to manifest it. For manifesting, you require that enzyme type of thing, that catalyst is required. And once you can do that, always you can convert some of the unuseful which you interpreted earlier to a useful thing. In case of rice itself, because the institution which has invited me is Indian Institute of Rice Research. Just I want to relate here. If you see, there is a foolish seedling disease in 1800s. It's a Bakane disease. And during that particular time, in Japan, a lot of rice fields got damaged. And from that particular fungus, that Gibberella fusicori, finally the gibberellic acid was extracted. So several examples are there where from the microorganisms which were otherwise harmful, these several useful things have been extracted. So similarly, we have to convert the inertness to activeness, and for which the people like Swami Vivekananda, they contribute a lot. If you believe in it, they can do wonders for us. Especially when a person, irrespective of whatever the stature you have, in your different stages of your life, there will be difficult phases. And during that time, to make yourself strong, you require some of the philosophy of Swamiji. They truly interpret the meaning of religion and ethics, and inculcating the feeling of Advaita Vedanta, the belief in the power of mind. Then it is, everything is in the mind. It is, man is the maker of your own destiny. And similarly, interpreting the correct meaning of education and helping the society, and finally serving the man as God, thinking him as a God. Similarly, if you see the philosophy of faith and strength, the history of the world is nothing but the history of few men who had faith in themselves. That faith calls out the divinity within. You can do anything. You fail only when you do not strive sufficiently to manifest the infinite power. As soon as a man or nation loses faith, then only the death will come. So it is finally it is our mental state. The remedy for the weakness, Swamiji said, is not brooding over weakness, but thinking of strength. Teach men of strength that is already within them. That's why people like Dayananda Saraswati, they mentioned about, let us go back to Vedas, because everything has been given in that. Even in our Upanishads, it is very clearly mentioned that it is actually we should express whatever we are having today, we should be happy for it, we should express gratitude to the God, irrespective of religion, and that will make you stronger, and that will make you a perfect human being. Similarly, if you see the philosophy of faith and strength further, to succeed, what you have to have? You should have a tremendous perseverance, tremendous will. I will drink the ocean, says the persevering soul. And even mountains can be crumbled up. Such type of sort of energy, sort of will is equal. Here it is a qualitative phenomenon in which Swamiji tried to motivate people. And can anything be done unless everybody exerts himself to his utmost? It is the man of action, the lion heart and the goddess of wealth is sorts to always move forward. So this is the way in which we should think about. And similarly, if you see in case of concentration, what Swamiji said, everyone knows about this. Basically, just take up one idea, make that idea as your life, think of it, dream of it. Let your brain, muscles and nerves, everything will be full of that idea, and keep all other ideas alone. And that is the only way to success. That is the only way in which society can take advancement. And finally, you can also say it is our mental attitude which makes the world what it is for us. Our thoughts make things beautiful. Our thoughts make things ugly also. So it depends upon, just like in case of light, 450 to 700, the visible spectrum range, how different colors will be formed at different frequencies. Similarly, if you allow a beautiful thoughts, it will be, your final result will be beautiful. So learn to see the things in proper light. 99% of, even 90% of thought force is wasted by ordinary human being. And there is a constantly, that's why he is committing blunders. The trained man or mind never makes a mistake. Similarly, we are responsible for what we are. So whatever we wish ourselves to be, we have the power to make ourselves. So whatever in past we thought, based on that, the result has come to what we are today. Similarly, what you will do now will decide about the future. So make a righteousness. The example which I mentioned in terms of that meditation, the person has changed his idea. Similarly, who knows, when we really understand the essence of it, will become a different man than what we are thinking about ourselves today will be completely changed. So every thought that we think, every deed that we do, after a certain time becomes fine and goes into the seed form, and so to speak, and lies in the fine body in a potential form. And finally, it bears the results. And these results condition the life of man, whom we are calling as a propensities basically, and that will form as a character. Similarly, you see here, this is a very important one. If you project hatred or jealousy, they will rebound on you with a compound interest. No power can avert them. When once you have put them in motion, you will have to bear them. And this is nothing but the essence of Gita also. See, do your righteous duty and don't think about the results of it. The road to the good is the roughest and steepest in the universe. And it is wonder that so many succeed. No wonder that so many fall. Character has to be established through 1,000 stumbles. Friends, in science and technology nowadays, in the name of so many requirements in our system, sometimes we fall prey in compromising. So this particular sentence is very important, which Swamiji said. Similarly, he defined the God and man in a scientific manner. See, here he says that God is nothing but an infinite circle whose circumference is nowhere, but the center is located in one spot in case of man. Whereas in case of God, he says that again, it is also an infinite circle whose circumference is nowhere, but whose center is everywhere. You see the meaning of it. And the difference between the God and the devil is nothing except in unselfishness and selfishness. Friends, you see, science and technology cannot guarantee you the unselfishness. The very essence of today's talk is in this. See, science and technology is like a very good benefits and all, it will accumulate. But whether it will be useful for a real purpose or not cannot be ensured by it. So that requires, you should be unselfish, and more type of people who are in the decision-making capacity of the different nations, if they are in that particular position, and if they regulate the things well, then the poorest of the poor in the African nations or even India, they all will get the benefit. Then the welfare society can be established. So it is not the fault of science and technology. It is the operators who are utilizing the results of science and technology. They are at fault. You presently see the case of Russian war with the Ukraine. Not going into the deep of it, but you can understand it is again something has happened in the minds of somebody who wanted to take some result, and he did not mind to bear any type of human loss. So that type of one is not required. You should think in a different manner. So similarly, when you are helping, you should not think that you are only helping. It's not help basically to others. It is the help to ourselves. Actually, we are making purification of ourselves through the medium of others. If you can understand that particular one, it is the receiver, actually, it is the receiver who is taking, he is actually blessing us. Because you see, the example of State Bank of India earlier days, when you enter the branch, there used to be, saying that it is the customer who is benefiting. I am not benefiting the customer. So similarly, here also, the Swamiji very clearly, he has put it in a very clear, very digestible manner. You cannot help anyone. You can only serve. Serve the children of Lord, serve the Lord himself. If you have the privilege, if the Lord grants that you can help any one of his children, blessed you are. Do not think too much of yourselves. Blessed you are that the privilege was given to you when others had it not. Do it only as a worship. Similarly, the history of the world is that of the 6 men of faith, 6 men of deep, pure character. You should have 3 things: the heart to fill, the brain to conceive, and hand to work. Friends, here, the brain to conceive is the one which is coming from science and technology. Hand to work is a mixture, is like in a chemical reaction. After the reactants, the product. But the point is, to make it a better hand to work, your heart should feel with highest sensitivity. And that cannot be ensured by science and technology. That has to come from spirituality. And this is the gist actually. The good works are continuously being undone by the tons of hatred and anger which are being poured out on the world. If you are pure, if you are strong, one man are equal to the whole world. And that is the qualitative statement and interpretation by Swamiji. Will such a day come when this life will go for the sake of others' good. The world is not a child's play, and great men are those who build highways for others with their heart's blood. This has been taking place through eternity, that one builds a bridge by laying down his own body, and thousands of others cross the river through its hell. Be it so, be it so. Okay, we have called several people as Mahan, as great people, which we are discussing now. They have built the highways, but can't we make a small, pathways? Can't we make ourselves pure before we leave our physical body? Just let us think about ourselves. And similarly, on motherland also, Swamiji has given a lot of thoughts. Shall India die? Then from the world, all spirituality will be extinct. All moral perfection will be extinct. All sweet-souled sympathy for the religion will be extinct. All ideology will be extinct. It will never be. Such a thing can never be. Will she die? No. This world mother of all is noble or moral or spiritual. The land which the sages trod, the land in which the godlike men still live and breathe. I will borrow the lantern of Athenian sage and follow you, my brother, through the cities and villages, plains and forests of this broad world. Show me such men in other lands if you can. This is the point where Swamiji believed 100% that India is the spiritual leader. It can provide the direction as a #1 country in the world in spiritual enlightenment of the humankind. He mentioned that India will be raised not with the power of flesh, but with the power of spirit. Not with the flag of destruction, but with the flag of peace and love. One vision I see clear as life before me, that the ancient mother has awakened once more, sitting on her throne, rejuvenated, more glorious than ever, proclaim her to the world with the voice of peace and benediction. So this is the one, the more we study the past, the more we feel good about our country and will try to be doing good for others. And about the science and technology, already we discussed, and he mentioned that the science and religion or spirituality are inseparable. They both quest for truth. They both complement with each other. They should complement with each other. The science without humanity will be harmful. And there we have our own responsibility. The results of science and technology should reach all the sections of the society. The holiness to the science will be provided by the spirituality. And Swamiji explained very clearly about the brain versus mind. Brain will be explained by the medical science. We can make, what are the different parts of the brain, like cerebrum, medulla oblongata. We know that what they are doing. They are seats of different activities. Whereas a mind, it is difficult to, scan it. It is the mind which is making whether you are going for assimilation or you are going for a destruction. Whether you are going for a catabolic reaction or you are going for anabolic reaction. So it is very difficult to understand the mind. And that's why the spirituality role will come in mind. Whereas brain will be taken care by the science and technology. And similarly, in case of education also, he mentioned that whatever the perfection which is already in man, you have to manifest it through the education. Education is the concentration of mind, not the collection of facts. Here also science and technology should learn from it. That's why in the Indian Science Congress, some people recently they commented that for a country of our size, the inventions of breakthroughs of such type of high innovativeness are still, there is a lot of potential to do it. Because it is the concentration which is more important. With that instrument, you can collect as many facts as possible. The education is not that, it's only for your own benefit. The education which cannot help the common mass of people to equip themselves for struggle for life, which does not bring out the strength of character, the spirit of philanthropy, and the courage of a lion, is it worth the name? The real education is that which enables one to stand on his own legs. So here, it is one way he is telling about the technique of education. Another way he is also telling about the purpose of education. You should finally think about man-making, character-making, and life-building exercises. And even if you can assimilate 5 ideas, which I told, even the parables of Sri Ramakrishna, one parable, one idea, if you can assimilate that and make it through your life in a practical way, then that gives you the everything. The knowledge, everything is inherent in man. No knowledge can come out from the outside. All is inside. All knowledge that the world has ever received comes from the mind. It is the infinite library of the universe. In the universe is your own mind itself. The external world is simply a suggestion, the occasion which sets you to study your own mind. And similarly, some of the great people who described about Swami Vivekananda, you see in the words of Rabindranath Tagore, if you want to study India, it is to study Vivekananda. In him, everything is positive, nothing negative. And similarly, the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, he explained about Swami Vivekananda when he had an occasion to visit the Ramakrishna mission during his lifetime. I have come here to pay my homage and respect to the revered memory of Swami Vivekananda, whose birthday is being celebrated today. I have gone through his works very thoroughly, and after having gone through them, the love that I had for my country became 1,000-fold. I ask you, young men, not to go away empty-handed without imbibing something of the spirit of the place where Swami Vivekananda lived and died. And similarly, Balagangadhar Tilak, a great freedom fighter, with whom Swamiji had interaction, he has mentioned that 20 centuries ago, Sankaracharya was the only great personality who not only spoke of the purity of our religion, not only uttered in words that this religion was our strength and wealth, not only said that it was our sacred duty to preach this religion in the length and breadth of the world, but also brought all this into action. Swami Vivekananda is a person of that stature who appeared towards the last half of the 19th century. Similarly, the Roman Roland, he's a Nobel Prize winner in literature, very great personality. He has explained about Vivekananda as the energy personified. And his preeminent characteristic was kingliness. He was born king and nobody ever came near him, either in India or America, without paying homage to his majesty. His words are great music, phrases in the style of Beethoven, stirring rhythms like the march of Kondal choruses. I cannot touch these sayings of his scattered as they are though through the pages of books at 30 years distance without receiving a thrill through my body like an electric shock. And what shocks, what transports must have been produced when in burning words they issued from the lips of the hero. So finally, actually, you can say, even though the Swamiji lived shorter period, only 39 years of age, but he is the symbol of not only our country for the pureness and universality at the world level, and such type of personality, even though he renounced his mortal body, but his words uttered earlier to the Eric Hamann in London remind to reassure everyone of his immortality, which he keeps on inspiring. That's why today also, being a benefactor of his sayings, I tried to share with you, and it may be that I shall find it good to get outside my body, to cast it off like a worn out garment, but shall not cease to work. I shall inspire men everywhere until the world shall come know that it is one with the God. Means finally it is the universality for which the Swamiji has really tried. Anyhow, I think after this there were some parables of Ramakrishna, which I will skip it because at this moment the paucity of the time. But I am really thankful to all of you because really, sir, with utmost sincerity, I can honestly admit that since the childhood, I got tremendously benefited from the small sayings of Swamiji. There were small short books I used to read during my 7th standard, 8th standard. Initially, when I participated in debate, I still remember Yeluru is a small town in West Godavari district of Andhra Pradesh. When I first time participated during my 7th standard in a debate competition, it was in a government school. I went by cycle there, and after going there, they have given me a chit. And I was told that, within 5 minutes, you will have to speak on that. So I was almost shivering, and I could not even, conceptualize within that short period. So what I did, I left that cycle also, and I came back to my home. That was the very first experience. But I read the book of Swamiji and gained a lot of confidence. And I thought that, there are different people, different occasions, and even great people also. They have really, learned so many things, and they got motivated by good words, and then arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached, has inspired me. And after that, I have succeeded tremendously up to standard 10 in college, in the school, in debates and elocutions. And then during my college days, I have represented the Acharya Rajendranagar Agricultural University in the national debate. At to such perfection I could make, along with Dr. C.H. Bharadwaj, who used to top the university in English debate. From a Telugu medium student up to standard 10, gaining this type of eloquence is not possible except with some motivation, which I talked about, carbonic anhydrase. Several other enzymes are there. Here, in my case, it is Swami Vivekananda. And he has inspired me such that whenever there are odds, they always used to motivate me to get something out of it, some positiveness out of it. And that's why I believed in myself, and with his ideology only, I attempted the Guinness World Record in the longest speech marathon in the 2012 in Bhubaneswar in KIT University. That time the record was for 30 hours and 6 minutes. So I have made it for 33 hours and 46 minutes on the occasion of International Literacy Day. On September 8th, I started it on morning 8 o'clock, and next day, 9th September, in the night at 8:30, I concluded my last part of the last portion was the contributions of Indian Council of Agriculture Research to the society. So I feel proud to do that, and I feel highly gratitude to all of you for your best wishes, especially to Swami Vivekananda for his inspiration throughout my life. And this is some of the pictures I'm just sharing here. This was during the first Guinness speech. This was the time when 8:30 at the end when I have made it. And this is also the occasion when I have concluded that speech. And this is the certificate which was provided by the Guinness for that Guinness World Record. And you can find Dr. Arvind Padi, who is at the ICAR, who is the director now, who was IAS here at that time. So I invited him for the inaugurating the another longest speech I attempted, which was completely in the standing posture, even though it was not required as a regulation for the Guinness. But as a devotion to Swamiji, I have tried to give the total speech on the standing posture with success. Finally, I could do it. And this time it was on 38 hours and 21 minutes. The first speech was, which I have shown earlier, that was on the science and technology, society and human development. Whereas this speech is on the ideology and spiritual concept of Swami Vivekananda and its relevance to the present day society. And this speech went for 38 hours and 21 minutes, concluded on the February 20th, early hours. And it was also delivered in the KIT University, Bhubaneswar. Then the Swamiji's that principle of concentration, that take up one idea, make that idea your life. That one I applied for another Guinness record, which I created in 2016 on 30th September. Friends, you are seeing here, I was typing, actually, there is a record called fastest time to identify all 118 elements of periodic table from hydrogen to unobtainium. What you have to do is you have to memorize hydrogen with full name, HYDROGEM. Similarly, unobtainium, every element you have to memorize, and there is an online program where you have to type it correctly. Then only the timer will move on. Then only the score will come 1 by 118 like that. Till you type the 118th element, that is unobtainium, the timer will stop. So I made it in 234 seconds, which is 3 minutes and 54 seconds, which was a new Guinness World Record in this category. So this is the certificate which was given by the Guinness World Records London. So this is these are some of the things I would like to show to you, share with you. And my sincere thanks to the director and esteemed staff of ICAR Indian Institute of Rice Research, Hyderabad, and distinguished members of the Society for Advancement of Rice Research. Really, I'm thankful to you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I really got tremendously benefited by the experience of imbibing some of the ideas of Swami Vivekananda. He himself mentioned that you continue in any profession, and you can imbibe those ideas that will make you more stronger. You need not go to any caves or forest dwellings to become, a karma yogi. If you continue as a karma yoga and do it. And I'm also thankful to all the directors and all the senior staff, senior scientists who have attended from different ICAR institutions and all our agricultural university fraternity, my close friends from IRI and NOM and several other institutions, my own institute, Indian Institute of Water Management. I thank you all for your patient hearing, and I thank Dr. Mahendra Kumar sir for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much, sir. And I also thank Madam Dr. Padma Kumari for really making this occasion happening. Thank you. And finally, I thank Dr. R.M. Sundaram sir again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Brahmananda Garu, it was a very enlightening talk on the life of Swami Vivekananda, and you have brought many facets of his life through his philosophy and teachings, and you have also narrated some parables which are take-home messages for most of us. I think all of us have been glued to your talk, And you have also emphasized on the purity of thought, service to mankind, and you also emphasized duty that the results should reach to the welfare of the society. And finally, through his preachings, there is the amalgamation of the spirituality of the East and the science and technology of the West should be made for a better world or the welfare society, as you have said, and so that all of us will be beneficial and it should reach to the poorest of the poor. And finally, you say that man is the maker of his destiny, which is the best preaching of the Swamiji. So we all should aim for science with a human face. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this enlightened talk. And I think we are all motivated to do a better work for the service of the society. Now I invite our director, Dr. R.M. Sundaram, to do the honors. Sir, moment of.
Yeah. Sir, you need to unshare your presentation.
Yeah.
Dr. Brahmanandam, on behalf of ICAR Indian Institute of Rice Research and also on behalf of Society of Advancement of Rice Research, I feel it's my privilege to, I'll just remove my background. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just a moment. Yeah, I feel it's my proud privilege to hand over this memento for an excellent and outstanding talk touching both science and religion and various facets of it. Thank you very much, sir. And when you'll be here in Hyderabad, or when one of us will be visiting Cuttack or Bhubaneswar, we'll hand it over to you. It's we are very pleased with your talk, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So all nice things should come to an end at one point of time. So I invite Dr. Bandappa for a formal vote of thanks. I also thank Dr. Pothula Srinivas Madam and colleague from NRRA for the participation. Yes, sir. Sundaram, sir.
We'll request Padmini Madam to give her views maybe for a minute or so. Ma'am, kindly.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Sundaram. But I am really in front of Dr. Brahmanand. I am very poor in
Thank you very much for coming and blessing me.
But to give any comment, it is really, I am very poor in that. But it is a very excellent, brilliant talk, Dr. Brahmanand. And really, we feel proud. You have very nicely covered the whole life history of Swami Vivekananda. So much inspired. I heard you in 2012 when you attempted for the first Guinness Book, I think. All the arrangements, everything, it was showing 3-4 days before in the TV news. So that somebody, Dr. Brahmanand from IIWM maybe, is going to talk continuously for 30 hours like that. So we are all astonished at that time. Our scientist colleague, only IARS scientist colleague, is going to talk. So I heard for a long time, but entire speech I did not hear because it was we are not having time as well as patience. But it was excellent that time I heard that, and today again I got the opportunity to hear you again. Of course, in between you had so many brilliant talks, and today really you gave a very mesmerizing talk and very nicely narrated and tried to correlate science and technology with his Swami Vivekananda ideology, his vision towards the nation, towards the mankind, towards the spirituality and towards the education society, everything, so many things you covered very nicely, and we are really motivated. Your motivational talk is very excellent. Thank you very much. I have no words.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your patient hearing and for your blessings.
It's welcome.
Dr. Brahmanandam, before Dr. Bandappa goes ahead, we have a special invitee, Dr. Chellapilla Bharadwaj. He's also one among our audience.
Yeah, he's my
Dr. Bharadwaj. Yeah. Dr. Bharadwaj, are you there? Yeah. No problem. I think we can go ahead with further. Madam, Padma Kumari Madam can go ahead.
Yeah, Bandappa, Dr. Bandappa for the formal vote of thanks. Yes.
Yeah. Good evening to all. Respected Director Sir and respected Director Ma'am. Today Chief Guest Brahmanand Sirji, Chairman of SAR Society and Chairman of Committee members and all the participants and ladies and gentlemen. I, Dr. Bandappa, it's give me immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks after such a wonderful speech. Firstly, Dr. F.P. Brahmananda Sirji, Sir, really your speech was thought-provoking. It made us to think about spirituality. Thus, how important spirituality in the science to form a better society. Sir, we learned many things about Swami Vivekananda ji. जैसा कि आपने आपसे स्पीच में बताया कि जो व्यक्ति अपने आप से जीत सकता है उसे दुनिया का कोई शक्ति नहीं हरा सकता. By listening to your speech, we charge, sir. When we listening to you, many times I thought that I am listening to some spiritual gurus. So on the behalf of our institute and on SAR Society behalf, on the behalf of our chairman committee, I am very thankful to SP Brahmananda sir for accepting our invitation and delivering such a wonderful talk. Thank you, sir. And we also thankful to our dynamic beloved director RM Sundaram sir for his constant support and guidance for smoothly organizing today's event. And also I am thankful to Padmini ji Madam, Director NRI Cuttack. On the behalf of our SAR Society and Chairman Seminar Committee, we are also thankful to our Mahendra Kumar sir and Padma Kumari Madam for organizing such a wonderful talk for us. We are also grateful to our senior colleagues, scientists who have joined for today's program and scientists from the sister institutes and all the staffs of IRI for joining today's events. I am also thankful to AKMA unit for providing virtual support for today's unit. Finally, on the behalf of our SAR Society and Seminar Committee, I am thankful to all who directly or indirectly helped us for successful conduct of today's event. Finally, I wish you all good day. Thank you and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was
Thank
wonderful.
You, so we see you forward. Looking forward.
Yes. So now I declare the meeting as closed. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.